I'm on my way to fetch Donsie. He's a cameraman friend of mine who I've known for many years, and he's quite a character. But I'm going to take him on this adventure, which I'm going to see if it's possible to do today. Well, Monette has been researching, and she's found out that in the pre-Boer War days in South Africa, 4 forts were built to defend Pretoria, which was the capital. I want to see what is the condition of those forts, and is it even possible to get to all 4 of them? Let's go. Yo, Donsie.
Well, I'm well. Good to see you, man.
That's lekker, man. Lekker, man.
Yeah, I'm going to. I believe we're going to some historical sites.
We are going to see some interesting stuff today, my friend.
Just hate climbing all these stairs, but what can we do? So anyway, yeah.
That's still a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
I think later on today it's going to be a hell of a lot worse, eh?
Yeah, well, this was built in the 19th century. They weren't big on lifts then.
So this one is Fort Klapperkop. Now there were 4 forts that were built just before the war, that was 1900. I think it was 1896 when they started to build them. And this is the first one, which was the most expensive. I think it was £50,000 to make this one. And there were 4 long toms that were brought into South Africa because they were anticipating, obviously, with the English going to come for them kind of thing. So they were brought in to defend Pretoria and placed in the 4 forts. But just before the English started to take overrun Pretoria, the guys took the cannons and they sent them out into the country in different missions. Now there is a fascinating story because only 3 of them have been found, and the 4th one, which is worth looking into. Now that is like looking for the Kruger millions, because there's a lot of mythical stories around that 4th cannon, and so we're definitely going to look at that one day. You don't see, here's the store. I lost a horse. Now it looks just like my horse, I'm telling you. Trek jou hol en troep.
Like your Morgan troop. The way this was built, I mean, if you compare it to generators of now, it's like a completely different thing. It's more like a dynamo. You can see it's got its copper coils at the bottom, and then it's got its what do you call it? The commutator. Back as a commutator.
Did you think this was already in 1900? Well, I wonder if, we must actually have a look and see if this came out after 1900 or as they built this place.
It'll be. This probably dates here from the beginning of the century, I think. Well, the 20th century.
You know what? We would be having if the woman was to see us now, they'd say, yeah, tippies. They're going to work it all out before they go and read and find out for sure. Look at the map. You never know. That dude might even hang out here at night. You know that?
That dude
It's
there.
his office.
Yeah. Yeah, you walk around here at night and the sea comes up behind you.
Okay, well, I think it's time to move on to the next fort. Let's see. Yes, fathers should bring their kids to things like this. I think the little boys would love this, eh?
It's nice, it's out in the open.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. It's a beautiful view.
Yes.
It's really nice.
You can understand now, this is a good vantage point to defend, eh? I believe they do music concerts here once a month. I wonder if this tree was in here by intent or was just grown over the years, eh? But yeah, is there any story attached to it?
Well, it's a paperbark thorn tree and it was planted after the Second World War. That's basically all I know about it. So we can say it's about 75 years old, maybe a little bit older. And yeah, it's an acacia tree. We strictly showcase the border war, which was from 1966 to 1989. This shows the schoolboy's room at home. It's a little bit untidy, his schoolwork, Scope magazine, the records. And then that's what his bed looks like when he joins the army. Inspection bed.
I think we all remember this one.
Yeah.
This was our stuff, eh?
Yeah.
Webbing.
And remember the size of the beds. If you used to use your shoe brushes and starch to make it square. And if it wasn't square, It's afkak. You run.
Do you remember those?
Oh, they were horrible.
Yeah, these were. This was supposed to be. But I don't think you ever wore them. No one wore them.
Philistine creepers. You can't go anywhere with them.
And they put on their best uniforms. So yeah, there was a whole procedure as to how this thing was conducted. The main guy always sat at the head of the table. He was the president, and he controlled everything. You could only eat if he was eating. If he's finished, you're finished. You could only drink when he's drinking a toast to the state president, whatever the case may be. And
here we are, and according to Google Maps, that is the road that is supposed to take us up to the fort, which is up, way up in a mountain over there. So I think we're going to give it a miss and go on to Wonderboom, because also if I look at this area, it's not a very kosher area. So I think we're going to just keep on moving and go to the Wonderboom Fort.
And then, what are we going to do then?
Oei, jy het gesê ons gaan braai. Ja, braai. Okay, so Donsie, I've kind of left the best till last today, eh?
Oh, you shouldn't have. I'll tell you, this hill, it reminds me of Dune 7 in Walvis Bay. Yeah, when I was in the army, we had to, they sent us there once and we had to go
they
climb.
prepped us with reminding us about our basics there. Did you see that today?
Yeah, no, that was a stark reminder. Was this your way of telling me that this is going to be one of the worst things I've ever done?
I've just run ahead of Donsie because I see he's got a bit of old injuries he carries in his feet. So I've got to nurse him carefully to get him up to the moment. Because when you get to the top, and it always feels good when you achieve something like that. Hey?
I'm here.
Good one. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. There you go. Alright. That's what do they call it? Donsie.
I nearly fell, but I kept my balance. Here we go.
Well done, man. You made it.
Hey.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool?
Awesome.
It's like looking at something in Europe or something, eh?
Yeah, in the backdrop.
Yeah, you see, there's Pretoria in the back there.
Snor City.
Let me just peer over the edge here. Yeah. There it is. There's the hill right behind the Telkom Tower there. That was the first fort we went to, which was Klapperkop. And then Skanskop. There it is. It's almost the gateway, if you think, to the city. That's that one and that one. Yeah. We're just busy working out, and we think that the other one is probably just behind that tree there on that ridge, that sort of lighter color ridge there. The gates, I think, are almost the same as we saw at the other two forts. Yep, looks very similar. Yep, these are the gates. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a view from the outside. I'm assuming this would be the entrance. There's no wooden gates to this one. It's just pure steel, man. Yeah. There you go. You can see how people have come in here and left markings on the wall. And they say under here, I don't know whether they stored water or there's probably tunnels under here. I wouldn't be surprised if there are tunnels underneath this place. But look at that, eh? Cool place for a photo shoot, I'd say. Anything like that. Look at that. Wow. These ruins, it has its own charm,
It does.
And in the same way as the other ones are interesting because they're like kind of been, like, you know, they've been kept up and all the rest of it. This one makes your imagination run a lot more, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back because they usually say that's usually the hardest. You know, going downhill, you're doing a lot of pressure on your leg now.
At my age, climbing all the way up, I complain less than a millennial complains in 5 minutes.
True that.
Huh?
Okay.
Right, Mr. Brendon, so here we are.
Here we go.
Sure.
It wasn't
a long time, but
it wasn't so bad, eh?
No,
but anyway, now, as we said, let's get this braai going.